Hello everyone, my name is Christina and I'm a medical student studying at Newcastle University, and in this video I just wanted to share with you guys how to reflect and how to decide what you've learned from your work experience. Reflection is absolutely essential and it's a crucial part of your medicine personal statement. This is what most medical schools want to know when they're reading your personal statement, so it's very important that you do this bit properly. So you might be wondering how to reflect. So I'd recommend starting off with just on your work experience, write down everything that you find interesting. There's no rules for it, honestly, just anything you personally find interesting, you find really like you were shocked by. Just the first step to reflecting is just write down everything that interests you on your placement. And then the next step, there's literally only 2 steps. So number 1, write down everything you find interesting. And then number 2 is answer some of these questions. These questions are for you, just to get you thinking about why medicine, what you've learned from your work experience. So I'm just going to read a couple of them out. What's the hardest bit about your job? This would be a good question to ask literally everyone, not just doctors, but also nurses as well. It's a common question you get at interview, why do you want to study medicine and not nursing? So if you have an idea of what the best bit, the hardest bit, the most difficult bit of, the different jobs in medicine are, then that will help you paint a picture of why you want to do medicine and not anything else. So similar to before, ask what's the best bit about your job, what's the most rewarding part, what's your favorite bit, that kind of thing. What did you most enjoy about your work experience? So this is fairly simple, but this will get you really thinking about why personally for you medicine was the right thing to do. Number 2, what was something that really surprised you about medicine and shadowing doctors? So for me, this was all the paperwork. I knew that medicine was really fast paced, lots going on, but I was really surprised by how much paperwork there was. I noticed that on my placement, it might be different on yours. In the morning, they tend to do the ward round, and then a couple of jobs, sometimes the jobs run into after lunch, and then they spend like the afternoon/evening doing lots of paperwork. That was something that surprised me. For you guys, it might be different, so make a note of all the things that you found really interesting or surprising. What was the most common skill that doctors demonstrated? So this will vary between communication, teamwork, empathy. It could be all of the above. These are the buzzwords that medical schools really want to see on your personal statement. So make sure you make a note of the main ones that you saw so that you can talk about them more in your statement. What skills do you already have that you notice the doctors have? This is absolutely essential for your MMIs or your interviews for medicine. So what happens is, a common question you get is, why would you be a good doctor, or why do you want to become a doctor? So if you've got an answer to this question, maybe you know that you've got really good teamwork skills, you've got good leadership skills, then it means that those are skills that you can talk about more at interview and as well on your personal statement. You can say that I would make a great doctor because I've got XYZ characteristics which I saw demonstrated on my work experience. So yeah, make sure you make a note of all the skills that you already see in yourself the doctors have. What's the best part of the job? This is a great question to answer because it kind of helps you answer the why medicine question. A lot of people, it will be because I love science and I like helping people, but to push that a bit more and to get more out of the question why medicine, ask yourself what's something that you're looking forward to, what's maybe the best part of your work experience that you observed and that's something that you're looking forward to doing when you're a doctor. How has your work experience impacted your decision to become a doctor? So for a lot of people, this might just be my work experience really confirmed that I wanted to do medicine. I saw lots of amazing things and it really inspired me, so medicine was definitely the right career for me. For me personally, I actually wasn't quite sure, but medicine kind of like solidified it for me. I was like, yep, this is actually what I want to do now. So yeah. Have a think about, how your work experience has impacted your decision. Has it made you appreciate doctors more? Do you have a better understanding of the skills needed? I think this question will help a lot with why medicine as well. How did it make you feel listening to patients' concerns and problems? So on my work experience, I remember I was listening in on a lot of the patients' problems and them just telling, the doctors about what they were going through and stuff like that. And I always found it very I was always in awe of the fact that the patients trusted the doctors so much. So for you, this might be different. For you, it might be, really scary. It might be really interesting. It might be really inspiring for you as well, like it was for me. But this is something to talk about as well. I think this would help with in interviews when you have to talk about why medicine. Maybe you can talk about seeing the patients, how much trust they had in doctors that really inspired you, stuff like that. And last but not least, what was some of the not so good or difficult parts about your work experience? It's really easy to list out a bunch of positives and a bunch of amazing things that you saw, but medical schools, what they want to know is that you have a good understanding and you have a clear view of what medicine is like. So if you're just going to list, it was amazing, it was great, then they know that you probably didn't pay close attention, because there are some negative sides to medicine. There are some not so great parts of the NHS. There are some not so great aspects to working in a hospital. So if you can mention those things, for example, doctors work really long shifts, or sometimes it can be difficult communicating between wards, between hospitals. If you could list out some of the negatives, then they know that you have a really good understanding and you do have an understanding of what it means to be a doctor and what it means to study medicine. So if you're thinking about what are some of the buzzwords you want to mention in your personal statement, then those are definitely things like compassion, communication, empathy, understanding, trust, commitment, leadership, teamwork, and more. I'll have them listed in the comments or description box so that you can kind of make a note of them, but definitely try and mention 1 or 2 of those. 3 or 4 would be good in your personal statement. If you want a bit more information on this topic, then the Medic Portal is a great resource. I'll have a few of their links linked in the description box below. You really want to be as unique as possible in your reflection that you're going to put in your personal statement, just because, as you can imagine, medical schools are reading through thousands and thousands of different personal statements, and it can get repetitive at times. I know it will. So if you have a really good reflection and if you've learned lots and lots of things on your work experience, then I think they're going to be really blown away by what you've learned, and it will make you stand out a bit more if you've got something more interesting to share. If you're interested in more medicine related videos, more uni videos, then make sure to check out my medical school playlist, and make sure to subscribe as well. I have loads more medicine content coming up in the next few weeks. I am moving back to uni, I think in 2-ish weeks time, maybe next week, maybe 2 weeks time. So I'm definitely going to be planning some like a move-in vlog, maybe that would be cool, or maybe like a room tour, definitely like day in the life of a medical student, week in the life of a medical student. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.